Callie?
Give me a break. No, why would you? Why would you? Why would you? I hope you get abducted by aliens.
Oh, me too! Man, we twin so much.
Man, I'm gonna throw a chinchilla at your face, and then you're gonna have a chinchilla face.
Is that a good thing?
You're gonna have a chinchilla face, and when people are gonna think you're really cute.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll have to stay in my house and never interact with anyone.
Fuck!
I can't deal with that.
Fuck! My plan backfired. My plan to get Itox out of the house backfired.
Nah, that'll never happen. I don't leave this chair, guys. I literally am the chair.
Ah!
That's what it's all about.
I ate some water.
Feel that? Yeah.
What the fuck?
No need to leave when I got everything I need right here, right?
I drink.
On my chair too, yeah.
I'm
What
gonna
else
sit on
is
all
there
of
in
them.
life other than to sit in your chair?
I am going to sit on all of it.
Worldbuilding is tricky. You've got all this stuff about the politics and trade and cultures of your world you want to share with people, but it's hard to get people to care, and characters don't usually have a good reason to sit around thinking about it without it feeling really forced. And all of this is why I realized food is kinda a world-building superpower. Seriously, think about it. Characters need to eat all the time. They have opinions on food, desires,
Ghibli
memories,
food.
and backstory, and scenes can be easily set at a meal. It's just
Oh my god,
human
Ghibli
behavior.
food, yes.
And through that, you can slip in all that dirty exposition about the world you love without it feeling like an info dump. It's a really subtle,
Monster
but
Hunter
powerful
Wilds.
way to delve in.
Why Monster Hunter has some of
By
the
way,
best
did you know if you
food
scan
lore.
this delicious, tasty QR code, my next 2 videos are already waiting for you over on Nebula, which only deepens our world building and
Love
writing
that
discussions
game.
from
Hell
today.
yeah.
Link below as well.
Wilds
you
is
can
so
learn so
good.
much about a world's part 1 culture just
I'm
by
just
looking at
waiting
how
for the
and what
expansion for
and
Master
where and
Rank.
why people eat. Stuff which
Maybe
is
a couple
basically
more title
background to the
updates.
scene. In Avatar: The
Father,
Last Airbender, Nomad cuisine tends to be simpler and closer to the raw
Father, I
ingredients.
have
Think
fallen
apple salad,
in
moon
the
peaches,
field of
onion
But I know they're
rings,
doing
processed
another Final
foods and
Fantasy
ingredients which can be
collaboration.
evilly gathered or scavenged from nature by a nomadic people
I
who can
require a
fly
bandage,
anywhere.
Father,
Fine Asian cuisine,
for
on the
I
other
must
hand, is more
return to the
processed,
battle.
relies on more complex cooking techniques and temperature control. It's spicy, often using fiber.
Why are you ignoring me,
with
Father?
more meat supported by its industrialized.
I am not your
so you can explore different
father!
cultural values, like
Wait, do
Chocobo
you see
skins
the
on the
father-
way.
in Brandon Sanderson's
Oh,
series,
hell yeah,
there's
Chocobo
nothing
skins
like
for the
spicy,
fucking
intense dishes, while women
secrets,
get mild, sweeter
100%,
curries, and
bro,
it's all to kind of
100%.
demonstrate these elite
Oh,
ideas
I'm
of
so
what
excited for
gender
that.
is. Men are
Fuck
expected
yeah.
to be these hardy,
Receiving
tough,
all the
warrior
attention
leaders,
while
women are taught to be softer,
son Callie
modest, and
is
a little bit
here
sweeter. And I hear you,
lamenting
that's
his
weird. Doesn't
broken
make any
knee.
sense. But we
You have a
actually do this in
broken
our
knee?
world.
Oh
Like,
no,
look closely at
Callie.
this. What is it? Whiskey, you say?
Yeah,
But it's also
my
a symbol
knee-
of
my
masculinity,
kneecaps
while
were
things like
stolen by a
salads and
raccoon.
bakings are
Love
apparently
the Street
associated
Fighter
with
collab.
femininity.
Oh my
That is
god,
totally
Akuma was so
Think about the
good.
whole meat
I
plate.
love
Was
the
this
idea
something
of like being able to use the like melee combos and shit like that. Fucking so smart. That's one thing I love about Capcom. They're so good at doing stuff like that.
Present themselves in society, interact with others, or even fulfill their roles in their culture. And
You're the
that
best,
itself
Callie.
can be a source
I'd
of
love to eat
internal
your
and
food too,
external
Callie.
conflict when characters do or don't
Watch my
eat.
nephew play it.
Cutest
It's what made
pie
me
I've
buy
ever
it.
How it's eaten, why, how it's made,
Nice.
as other characters react to and think about them.
Oh my
Like
So
in A
good.
Song of Ice and Fire, offering bread and
Mon-
salt,
like,
two foods
Capcom,
essential for
Monster Hunter have
survival in a
always
world
been
like
so
this is a
amazing with
symbolic
collabs.
promise of safety.
So
Rooted
much
in real
potential.
history, by the way. It's
Wasn't there a
gesture that's
Starbucks
long been used in
can
different
or
cultures to show
some
trust
cup?
and protection
You're a
between
Starbucks
species.
canned
thing.
cup of
Let's think about the
coupon
red wedding
coppers.
meal, but not just as like the most shocking scene in the
Beckelman,
story, but as an
Beckelman.
incredibly important
No,
world-building bit for
that's
Westeros. In the books, we see how
Duar.
older Freys shunned for breaking guest rights, how bread and salt don't mean
Where's
as
the
much as they
freaking
used to,
Starbucks
all because of the
cup?
red wedding. We understand the values here through food. I mean, food shows up
Wait,
in
what did
language
I just do?
symbolically all
Can
the
you still
time.
hear
Like,
me?
there's this
Okay,
phrase in
whatever.
Chinese, the rice is already cooked, which means, you know, what's done is done. Can't
Which is okay. This is one of the really big things for food in my book. Food inside of the tree is pure luxury. You do not get hungry, so you do not have to eat. But you can eat. So, rituals around food that have arisen due to interaction with the beastmen and, like, sharing culture and the ideas being brought back to the tree and the materials, the food, everything being brought back to the tree has completely changed how they view things because of it. And now you're getting the people that are like even on like the bottom 15, like eating food and being gluttonous and literally like you'll have people that are like 600 pounds that continuously have heart attacks, but they can't die. So they're just like they're just in like almost continuous pain because they're just continuously having heart attacks over and over and over again, but they can't die. And that's literally their existence. And it's like, I kind of want to show the extremes of how far you can push these different things with, like, the idea of immortality in the background. Where it's like people are almost begging for their own death. Is that too dark for you, Callie?
No.
Okay, we can go darker.
Darker. I can do dark. No, I'm gonna do the darkest. I'm gonna be the darkest man.
Okay, but mine's not a man. Is it really cannibalism if it's an octopi eating an octopi?
No, that's survival of the fittest.
Yeah, see? But when humans do it...
See, when humans do it, it's like
Except Husai can't do it because there's only one human. It would have to be self-cannibalism. He'd have to eat himself.
You can go insane from eating humans.
Yes. Because Death can. But yeah. So that's why food is so important inside of the tree, because it's not a necessity. It's something that is strictly tied specifically to ritual and identity and culture and religion. Same thing with like the idea of like eating popcorn at plays. It's like that's a complete.
What does his shirt say?
My shirt?
His shirt, the dude on the video.
His shirt? A wizard did it.
Oh, wizard.
Because it's like, you know, when they say, like, you don't really know what happened, it's like, oh, a wizard did it, it's like a coincidence, you know? Like, oh, how the hell did that chair get there? It wasn't there during this entire scene. Or how the hell did he get a sword? Or how the hell did he get a gun? Where did that come from? How the hell did that guy do that? You know, like, why would he do that?
A wizard did it.
Exactly, Callie. Exactly. See, now you're thinking
Knox, I need your advice.
Yes.
I have a bottle of ranch here. Should I go put it away?
Probably, yeah. You don't want to leave ranch out. How long has it been out for?
I have no idea.
No, I would not put that back in the fridge, bro. I would throw that out. You give it like 2-3 hours, yeah, don't eat that shit. Ranch goes bad super fast. Sorry to have broken you, Callie, but that's the truth.
Be undone. Just how your
don't eat that shit, man. You won't fucking regret it.
It's because of this that symbolic food often crosses over with religion. Like, did you know that limb
probably rancid as fuck, yeah.
Did you eat? 4.
Isn't just something I really wish I could have, but actually a really important.
I have the stomach of 1,000 lions. I once ate like 7 bad chicken drumsticks, and my family did the same thing, and I was the only one who didn't get sick.
Damn, I wouldn't tempt that though. You know. It's a little scary, Callie. The second you start tempting fate, the next thing you know, you're popping...
Fate doesn't exist. I decide my fate. I decide my destiny. Woo!
Yeah, but no matter what happens, that's what fate is. That's the fucked up thing about fate. Fuck it.
Chug it.
Chug it. I mean...
I'm about to chug it right now.
I mean, like... I was gonna be... It's the white sauce, right? It never goes bad.
White
Order
sauce,
the
it's my
maidens
sauce.
of
I put my
Yavanna
sauce
are
in there,
allowed
and
to
then people
make
drink
it.
it.
The act of baking and giving limbas becomes this sacred ritual. Food is, of course, an essential part of feasts and festivals to celebrate the change
that
of
like
the
a
seasons,
praying
or
mantis
rites of
goddess?
passage, or important historical events in
No.
the culture. Think
It's
Thanksgiving
praying mantis
turkey
goddess.
every year. Food says a lot about
I'm not
how
listening
cultures
to
and
the
your
vid-
characters
Oh.
understand themselves and their history. But food isn't just about what people eat. It's
Praying
about what
mantis
they
goddess.
eat. Just by being eaten around
Wait,
something
she's
important,
there
the food itself can
cutting
become
the
something
fried
important. Which
egg with
animals
the
or plants are
chopstick. How
sacred should never be
genius.
touched or should be cultivated in particular ways. And how does your character feel when they see it being
That's
eaten
them.
or dealt
Well,
with
I don't know what that
differently?
is.
Eating one thing might be taboo
Some
in
sort of
culture and
meat
sacred
on a
and
stick.
essential in another. The Elder Scrolls actually has a fascinating
Like, since
Meat on a stick.
since my book is based on, like, Final Fantasy, imagine finding, like, a Beastman tribe that eats chocobos. Like, that would... People would be like, nah. Nah. You can't eat those. Even though they're technically giant chickens. I wonder what a chocobo would taste like. I'm surprised there hasn't... Exactly. I won't stand for it. Like, I don't care how good a chocobo tastes. You ain't killing the chocobo. You know? Sorry. This is a sacred animal. Especially the golden ones. Exactly. So it's like, there's this... There is definitely a huge thing for what is and what isn't. And maybe to some beastmen, eating...
I'm on a chocobo. You're on a chocobo.
Like, for instance, okay, get this officially low. The best food in my world is a diorite leg. Diormites are 6 feet tall spiders.
Chocobo.
And their legs, it's kind of like, think of like a crab leg. But it's a spider leg. And it's the most delicate, like, sauntered meat you'll ever eat.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Callie.
Chocobo.
Chocobo. So imagine something like...
Choco.
That's wild. Yeah, so imagine, like... I imagine it as, like... Imagine, like, dark turkey meat meets crab meat. So it's not like a fishy meat, but it's not quite like a chicken. But it's definitely like pulled pork almost. That's kind of what I imagine it like. It's like pulled pork. I can see it, so they're like giant spiders then. Yeah, and they're 6 feet fucking tall. And their legs are like, you know, as long as an arm and as thick as an arm, sometimes even bigger. Think of like a little bit smaller than like Shelob, for instance.
Chocobo. Choke oboe. What if you choked on an oboe?
An oboro?
Choked on an
oboro?
oboe.
An oboro? They're like little monkey people.
Choked on an oboe. Choked on an oboe. Choked on an oboe.
An oboe.
Choked on a hobo.
Smokey? You choked on Smokey's dick? I can't
my
believe it,
God.
Callie. I did the same thing.
No.
It's huge, right?
No.
Fuck, man. You should just go into porn.
No.
Then he wouldn't be homeless.
No.
He just needs to be,
Why?
like, cleaned
What?
up, you know?
What? Forgot your keys, left the door open, left the stove on. You need magnesium.
Alright, Callie. That's a new one.
taboo in their wood elves, the Bosmer, who seem to be
Magnesium
these kind of
glycinate.
peaceful,
Oh my
serene
God, it's
elves
Tron.
that we're
It's
used
the
to in
dude
fantasy,
from,
only
from
they're
the-
bound by
from the-
something
from
called
the thing.
Green Pact, a
It's for the
sacred
ultimate
oath that forbids
ride.
them from
You
harming
what?
wildlife. So,
I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God, they broke a
eat
car.
meat,
Wait,
and when
you
I say
just
that,
literally
I mean
stopped
they're
time.
carnivores.
October 10.
They're almost cannibals.
Tron
so much so
stuff.
that they fast before a battle
Fighting
because they
scene.
have to consume
Destroying
the dead
technology.
afterwards,
That's
including their
expensive,
own
sir.
kind.
Wait,
Cannibalism
that's
is
the
taboo
dude from
for
that
us,
one
but
thing. That's the
required
dude
You're
from
a thing from the
place.
one
Oh my God, it's
dude.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Look, it's Skyward, Skyward, Skyward Sword,
often end
Zelda.
up being codified into,
But
like,
waiting.
myths and
For a
religious
lift
stories
ride,
to
can't
preserve and
pay
crystallize those
off.
ideas. Like the Iroquois and Cherokee tell the
I'm
story
not
of the
quite
three
sure.
sisters, three girls who were turned into corn,
Lift?
beans, and squash,
What are we
the staple
talking
crops of
about?
their
Was
people. And
in
to ensure their
ads.
happiness, supposedly they always need to
Fuck
be planted
ads.
together. A tradition isn't just something you
God
do, right? But it's
damn
actually a really
ads
effective
making
farming
everything
method.
so
They grow
difficult.
nature in this way. So consider how can religious and cultural stories in your world give symbolic meanings to
I'm
foods and
guessing
practices,
Queen wasn't
connecting
in
the
ads
act of eating or
because
cultivating
she
to
has
deeper
the
values,
turbo
and how does
whatever.
religion and myth preserve food practices? There is this
And there's a thing, okay, so there's like this level of evolution that can happen in the world.
Why are you ignoring me?
I'm not ignoring you, Callie. I just
Fine.
don't think there was anything to I don't. What did you want me to respond to you with? I was literally responding to you, and you're just like, "Don't ignore me!" And I'm like, okay, I'm not ignoring. I'm trying to answer your question. Your question was, what is Your question was definitely fuck. I don't remember what your question was, Callie. That's okay. I don't even remember what my question was that I was gonna say. Your question was. So that's how bad it is. I can't remember my own question. Fuck. What was my question again? What? Okay, we're gonna have to go back in the video like 2 seconds. Oh. Right, okay, no, I don't remember what my fucking question was.
Give symbolic meanings to foods and practices.
Symbolic meanings to
eating
food.
or cultivating to deeper
Eating or
values.
cultivating.
And has religion and myth preserve food
Okay,
practices. There is this
preserve food. What the fuck was I thinking about? You interrupted me, you motherfucker. God damn it. What was I saying? I don't remember. Fuck! I know it was important! God damn it! What was it, bro? Cherish each other for real. Well, y'all have a good night, man. Brought me a smile and a few laughs just being goofy. Yeah, alright. Have a good night, officially low. Thanks for popping in and hanging out. Okay, wait. Okay, wait. Wait.
Amugas.
Okay, wait. What the fuck was I gonna say? So I was gonna say something.
I'm gonna go get water.
About. Did it have to do with chocobo? It had to do with food. Had to do with my world. Had to do with specific people. Taboos, limitations, what people eat. We're talking about chocobos, eating chocobos. Where the fuck did my mind go? I'm just so fucking lost. I don't know. People being turned into corn, different types of food, people eating different kinds of food, why people eat different kinds of food. Different kinds of food grow in different places. Huh. I have no idea. I'm sure it'll come back to me.
temptation, I think, to think about food world building as like always representative of some wider cultural value or circumstance. When like food is self-expression, it is creativity, it is identity, and it's how people bond together. Human expression is culture. What we like to eat and drink and how we like it and who we like it with and where we like it, how we share that with our community. Like, think of coffee. We have so much fun with it. Every different coffee shop will have their own fun spin on a latte, and everyone has their own way that they
Your
like their
hamburger,
coffee that
I'll
they
eat
really
you.
identify with, almost. Like, my
No!
wife Laura loves cinnamon spice coffee at Christmas because it
Cuppa!
feels festive and she likes
Tea!
festive things. Every culture has
Hippa
its own take on
jaguppa
coffee, and
waffa!
food isn't always reflective of some deep
Dibba
cultural
harama
values,
da
strength or
daffy
honor or gender,
bird.
or struggles against a harsh winter. A lot of really famous foods are products
Oh
of
my
people
God.
just expressing themselves, what they like. People just being
I-
people in a culture collectively building
like
up an
the-
identity.
the-
You put
the-
enough
the-
people, all of whom
the-
are their own
the-
unique,
no.
individual, creative people.
Oh, it looks
People just
so
being
good.
people and building up this
I like
identity that they
the
can all
Monster
share,
Hunter
becomes
women's-
special because it's
They're hot,
part of us.
right?
Infinitely variable because people
We need to
are
get the
intuitive.
mod that makes them all
Regardless of their
topless with
values or
huge
geography,
tits.
Any collection of thousands or even millions of people expressing themselves through
It's like they're
food
literally
and trying to
making
end up
pizza.
with an incredibly unique mountain of self-expression. It's about the recipes our grandparents passed down, the meals we grew up with, the things we learned to cook as kids and now find comforting. But with all of that said, part 2, geography. Let's be honest, the environment, the physical world around us, what actually grows there is maybe the biggest factor in what we actually eat, even today. Take a look at this map of a fictional world, and let's focus on this southern continent here. We'll call it the Mysterian Empire. The grasslands might be perfect for grain production, wheat, crops, so they probably eat a lot of that. But up here in the Momo Republic, maybe their soil isn't good or flat enough to be really good for crops, so they instead rely on livestock and dairy products. People around here, though, they maybe fish from the lakes and rivers a lot more. And so we can easily imagine how a world like this might influence culture on a very base level over time. Let's say the people of the Mysterian Empire worship someone called the Wheat Weaver, a goddess who every summer weaves a golden cloth that mimics the patterns of a wheat field, and before meals around a fire, your characters might plant a simple grain as a sacrifice. The wetter and hotter areas of your world might be suitable for growing something more like rice, so maybe when that religion gets transferred over to them, they instead plant a single grain of rice as a sacrifice. A Song of Ice and Fire even has a popular fan theory which is rooted in food geography of all things, and it has all to do with a lemon tree. In the books, Daenerys repeatedly references a beloved lemon tree outside her window in Braavos as some distant memory, a food she loved as a kid and has since become a symbol of her innocence, of her childhood. But we're also told multiple times in the books that lemon trees do not grow in Braavos. It's way too barren and cold, so people think maybe, just maybe, these memories aren't quite what they seem. They aren't real, or they come from somewhere else, like Dawn, where lemons do grow. This is a pretty concrete example of how a character's relationship with food can be used to explore the physical world, to hint at a deeper story, to foreshadow plot development, and also how foods and ingredients can become characteristically important to how we see ourselves, our past, our identity, our self-expression, a lens through which we can understand these characters more deeply, like we just talked about. And you know what? I'm sure we'll get our full answers when The Winds of Winter comes out soon. You know, I've noticed something interesting. There's been this rise in stories which really want to explore
6.5 years from now,
and natural world, and they often do that through food. In Delicious in Dungeon, we see that people eat these carnivorous plants, which would literally eat them if they could. There's all different species of these things called shadowtails, which reproduce by burying seeds under your skin.
I still gotta
There's
watch
the
this.
Mare Oak, which captures smaller animals and uses those to bait larger prey. These are predatory plants, and by seeing how characters have to hunt and prepare and eat these creatures, we can kind of get an idea for the ecology of these worlds. Food is necessarily going to be reflective of their natural environment, but it's also often reflective of unique struggles that they've had in that environment.
300 to fix our broken urine purifier?
Yeah, the urine purifier is broken.
In The Expanse by James S. A. Corey, mushrooms become an essential part of spacefaring humanity's diet in the asteroid belt, and for good reason. They're kind of the perfect space crop. They don't need as much light, soil, and they're really good at recycling waste into something useful and edible. And I cannot hammer this home hard enough. This is the strength of sci-fi and fantasy world building. Our worlds get to be anything we want them to be, anything you can imagine. Enough with the worlds which basically look just like ours. We look out the window with a new coat of paint. You can have anything you want inside them. You get to write the rules. We don't have to operate on a 1990s Stargate filming right outside of Vancouver budget anymore. Scavenger's Reign is easily one of the most creative and amazing TV shows out there right now. Please go watch it. And it's basically all about this fantastically unique alien world ecology. And you get to understand it, how it all works, through how people interact with it, how they eat it from time to time. One character survives by being fed by this strange creature, which develops kind of symbiotic, possibly parasitic relationships with other creatures around it. It feeds them this black goo and kind of brainwashes them by giving them dreams and turning them into thralls, getting other creatures to fetch food for it in turn. So much of the story is kind of about the characters trying to find their place in the food chain here. Unique environmental struggles and cultural inventions can often end up in the creation of new foods, which become symbols of national identity and pride. Maple syrup, pavlova, and hummus, which I assume only one country has claim to. But one really interesting detail a lot of people don't tend to think about is that these culturally iconic foods often don't start out as symbols of pride. They begin as
Are you still there, Callie?
It's often
What's
full
going
of
on? You're so quiet.
Maple syrup is just that. That's
fall
why
asleep?
a lot of iconic foods are fermented or calorie dense, made to help people
You
endure food in
leave me,
winter. Think
Callie.
pemmican. What are characters eating in a harsh winter as opposed to a fruitful summer? And how do your characters feel about their cultural dishes? A sense of pride, a need for it to be made a certain way, frustration when someone doesn't. Part 3, history. You can show all sorts of stuff about trade routes, migration, and conquest just by looking at what and how characters eat. Like, colonialism has left an indelible mark on almost every cuisine in the world. Ingredients and cooking methods were forced together in ways that still shape how we eat today. Filipino cuisine has indigenous flavors, Spanish influence after being colonized, and even some American. Like, Spam is a hugely popular breakfast food, and that's a legacy of American occupation in World War II, when canned goods were a reliable food source. But at the same time, cultural exchange like this can often lead to conflict. Foods from other cultures will often be painted as barbaric.
I love
disgusting,
Spam.
if they don't fit the other culture's norms, or as just a way to assert their superiority.
I'm more of a
Basic
ham on a
utensils in your
fork
hand or
kind of
chopsticks have
guy.
been historically stigmatized as uncivilized. Stigmatized or lost foods or cooking techniques can tell stories of oppression, of war, even genocide. Historically in Canada, the hunting of seal, elk, and caribou was banned to force indigenous peoples to rely on a settler diet, and in that, assimilate into this other culture by painting their original way of life as uncivilized. And your characters are going to live in a world where those dynamics exist. They're either going to experience that prejudice, perpetuate it, or observe it. One character might be desperately trying to keep their culture's culinary traditions alive, holding onto old recipes, or maybe they never learned how to make their culture's foods, and they feel that loss of identity. Or they might feel revulsion to another culture they consider barbaric compared to theirs. Section 4, economy.
How dare you
use
eat
food to
cats
highlight
and
class differences.
dogs?
Wealth disparities, divides in your society that come with what people eat and how. In Cyberpunk 2077, fresh food is virtually reserved only for the ultra wealthy. Most people are left to eat this low quality, mass produced kind of kibble designed to meet basic nutritional needs. It's made out of kelp, plankton, soy proteins, and it's cheap, unpalatable, and a really effective way of expressing that the lower classes are no more value than dogs. Food and water has become intensely commodified. The food of the lower classes is increasingly processed to make it cheaper. In your world though, do the rich even notice how different their food is from others? What do your poor eat compared to the middle or rich? What is a rare treat for one but standard breakfast for another? Like these delectable stroop waffles, which I'd never had before but I absolutely love, not sponsored but I wish I was. We'll just put you over there. Like typically the richer you are, the more meat you eat. Or do different classes eat at different times because they work at different times? And keep in mind that technology or magic potentially can massively transform which foods are available to people and how cheap they are. Refrigeration and canning suddenly meant we could transport foods over long distances without deterioration. Tropical fruits, which used to be luxuries, were suddenly cheap. Subsequent overconsumption of lobster led it to become a delicacy. If you've got wizards and spells which can...
Yeah, the one really cool thing if you didn't know about lobster is lobster used to be a poor man's food because there was so much of it. Literally, you could not go onto the beach anywhere in North America without having, like, colonies of lobsters in every direction. And then it basically got eaten out of existence.
Freeze food, that's gonna change what people can eat, how they preserve things, and what is available to who. The wealthy might eat more hot food or be able to afford that magical berry from your world. Similarly, how people eat tells us a lot, like the purpose of food. In the Hunger Games, we see how the people of the capital gorge themselves at banquets, then drink a poison so that they can vomit it all up and eat even more. It's this wild, grotesque display of excess, and it really highlights the food disparity in this world. The capital and Panem, it is an extractive system. The people in the capital don't have to worry about food as a source of nutrition or survival. They only care about food as kind of an experience, the fun of it. It's a massive contrast.
That's kind of how
districts
food is
where
in my
is
book,
scarce, and
at least inside of the
survival is a
tree.
constant concern, and shows how people in different classes here think about themselves and others. How the people of the capital approach food speaks to their blissful apathy towards how their system is sustained. It's an ignorance and apathy which we see becomes a huge part of Katniss's radicalization. And I hear you, that's ridiculous. We would never let something like that happen, but let me tell you about the most expensive restaurant in the world. Sublimotion tries to engage all your senses in a gastronomic performance with floating plates, VR headsets, and a 22-course dinner which doesn't even resemble food. I can understand enjoying fine dining, but at some point I think it becomes a con. But as funny
Yeah.
as it is, there is actually something more interesting at play.
Wow.
The wealthy look for
Are you
ways to
back?
distinguish themselves
Where
from
were
everyone else.
you?
Food is one way they do that. They turn it into
What were you
performance art,
doing?
because if only the wealthy can
I
afford to
was
eat a
watching
certain dish, it reinforces that
a
hierarchy and
political
marks them
thing.
apart as
How dare you watch that
you
without
can
me?
signal
Send me
your
a link
status
to it.
others in society by what you can
Oh,
eat and experience and provide when people come to your house, which is why when poor
Hey,
people
don't die
suddenly
on me,
afford
bitch.
services or experiences and food, they're suddenly less interested in it. And like one way that they make this distinction is with manners.
What a superbly featured room, and what
I'm the
excellent boiled potatoes. Many years since I've had such an exemplary vegetable.
Dining etiquette. Eating can become this elaborate ritual with each utensil and gesture and course planned to reflect a kind of tradition and practice. By making it a skill you essentially have to learn, you make it harder for outsiders, especially from other classes or cultures, to join. And you can use this as tension in your scenes. We've all seen those scenes where the poor character can't figure out which fork to use for the life of them. I do want to note that it's not that middle or lower classes have no manners, it's just that they typically have different manners, a different eating culture. Like,
What are you doing,
street food
Callie?
is a massively
Whose
important part
bing
in each
bong
of the world. It's
bang
just not a
drum are
culture
you
that's built to
macking
keep
around
people
over
out.
there?
Beyond that, you can use food to say a hell of a lot about my favorite thing, trade routes. In A Song of Ice and Fire, delicacies like Dornish wines or citrus fruits like oranges and lemons are repeatedly singled out as these expensive
Tyrion.
luxuries which only the wealthiest and powerful can afford, but it also shows us trade connections to Dorne, all the way at the other end of the world. If we go back to our map, imagine if a character managed to purchase a tropical fruit called a pollywog all the way up in the snowy poles. Just through this simple exchange, we have to imagine there's some kind of connecting trade route stretching all the way around to something like the sunny shores of the Mishkarian Empire. But come here, alright, come here. Come. There's a big part of this discussion we're missing, right? Magical food. It is everywhere in fantasy and sci-fi, and yet it almost never seems to fundamentally change these worlds when it would. It would have to. Like, think about it, alright? If you could...
And that's actually another thing. It's like Final Fantasy, right? Like, in Final Fantasy, eating food gives you some sort of buff of some kind, right? So it's like super important, but it's like it's more of, instead of giving you a buff, it takes away your debuffs. Like, right? The less you eat, the more debuffs that you get. And when you eat, you can like get rid of those debuffs. And maybe if you can eat in excess, maybe you can get buffs. I don't know. But food definitely in that aspect is very important to how like the type of food is very important to who it's used, right? You know, like sushi is good for like agility because fish move fast, right? Like something like a coral, which is like a cat, would be like you know, like stealthiness and like, you know, prowling or something like that. Like something like an owl would be like really good sight. So it's like depending upon what animal you eat, you get like a buff based upon that like animal, or you know, based on like a plant that like does something specific. I don't know, a plant that's a thorn or something like that, you know. I don't know.
Food, which gives people specific boons, you know, +2 to stamina, +10 to strength. Eat this creme fraiche and you can see the future. That wouldn't just be a cool plot point. It would change the world. Think about it. Food would no longer just be about like survival, necessity, enjoyment. It would be about power. If there's a berry that lets warriors fight for hours without tiring, whole nations
True,
would set up
Callie.
these guarded
I believe in you.
plantations just to maintain their supply. It
What
would
did
be
you
a
do?
Security, necessity, or like a rare root that slows down aging would instantly become this immensely expensive, high in demand thing which maybe creates a divide between the rich eternally young and the aging lower classes. Or what about a porridge, which is incredibly bland, but if you eat it, you can fly for a day. I mean,
Did
who
you
wouldn't?
hear me
What
fart?
people eat,
No.
like these wonderful Delmain stroopwafels,
Fuck.
not sponsored, but I wish I was, would become just as much, if not more, about the magical boons you get than it is about
Nice.
taste or enjoyment or nutrition. Work smarter, not harder. Eat
No,
smarter,
it was a
not
real
healthier.
fart.
The economic incentives in a world like this would just be entirely different, and if humanity is anything, we are min-maxers. I'm sick of seeing worlds which clearly have magical foods, but like they aren't integral to every kind of industry and politics which would necessarily want to take advantage of them. No need to learn when you can just magically make yourself smarter whenever you eat a Twinkie. People would be eating those terrible jello salads if it meant that they could conjure the ghost of childhood memories. Powerful, desirable, and tied to both pleasure and conflict. Like, whole industries would form around growing, trading, and controlling these magical foods. Governments would be trying to regulate...
other thing is like drugs. Like cocaine, which is a plant. Like weed, which is a plant. Like alcohol, which is just fermented fruit and vegetables. And a plant.
or monopolize these foods to ensure there's no unchecked use of their power, and that's to
I don't know how you make meth, and I don't know how you make heroin, so I don't know if they're from a plant or not.
Another, or the magical detrimental effects which only one class has to suffer through. And like the real world version of all of this is, let's be honest, drugs and alcohol trigger you to demonetization. Buy my books. We fight wars over them, use them to relax and celebrate. They help us fall in love, but they also bring huge social issues and burdens. Got the munchies because drugs and alcohol are inescapably caught up in how we eat and why. And I hear you, how can you talk about magical food without mentioning Dune? Well, in Dune, melange is the most valuable substance in the universe. Full stop. It extends lifespans, it grants near magical powers like the ability to see the future, and it's also kind of, well, this is gonna sound a bit on the nose, but it's a spice. We're told it tastes like cinnamon, literally. It's used in everything. Food, drink, even inhalable gas, and whoever controls it basically controls the galaxy. The Spacing Guild, which controls space travel, is completely dependent on the spice supply. It's consumed in religious ceremonies, its role in extraction reflects the colonial past of Dune, and how it's used says so much about the cultures of those in the story. For the Fremen, it's this religious food which is part of everyday life, and just by characters consuming, buying, thinking about the spice, we get to understand.
So Smokey, what are you up to today, good sir?
Both drugs and alcohol have helped people survive throughout history by dulling hunger. Plus, alcohol was a key source of calories and nutrients back in the day when water wasn't clean. And let's not forget, a lot of drugs have, and some still are, being used as medicine, especially if they're magical, antiseptics, pain relievers, even anesthetics. Think about how substances like drugs or alcohol might play a pivotal role in your world, as nutrition, as survival, as religious items, as symbols. But of course, if substances
a symbol of what not to do in society. Symbol of being kicked out of society.
In the 1920s, banning alcohol just made it more
Sat outside smoking. Fuck yeah, Smokey, sounds about right.
Figures like Al Capone exploded onto the scene. Corruption spread through law enforcement, politicians, and judges, and created this complex web of power, wealth, and crime that reshaped American society and the economy. How your drugs are ingested, normalized, or the tension around them can show a lot about how our culture thinks and values.
My
The black
peen
market,
defo
though, is going to be a
shrivel.
fundamental part of any economy, whether we like it or not. Black markets are outlets for desires which the legal framework aren't meeting. Part 5, power. Food is essential, and that means it's always been a tool of control.
So fucking
Most
cold.
Of history,
It's like
pretty much today,
30
the ruling
degrees
class
here,
has
Smokey. It's
control
not
of food
cold.
production. So who owns the fields, the factories can tell us a lot about who is in power in your world. But food has also long been a form of soft power, a way to spread your culture and influence without explicit force, and a great world-building tidbit. Like the opening scenes of Blade Runner, the quintessential cyberpunk world is designed to show us how dominant Asian culture is through Deckard eating their food, especially Japanese. Asian food has become the norm in LA as the Japanese economy became globally dominant in this time, reflecting fears of this takeover that were very real at the time. You could show the entire geopolitical balance of your world just through cuisine, through the advertising and cooking methods and what
2
food
degrees.
is available and
Jesus,
what's the go-to
Smokey,
takeout.
what the
What cooking
fuck?
utensils do people use?
Man, you
Sometimes
live in a
governments
shit
even
country,
launch
Smokey.
soft power initiatives to increase their influence. And I've got a harsh truth for you. As much as we have lofty ideas about how revolutions start, a lot of the time it's a lot more to do with food than you might think. People are starving and it's time to throw hands. You know that phrase, let them eat cake, which Marie Antoinette probably never said?
I'm going to kill you, and all the cake is gone.
But it's stuck around because it does
Cake
get
is
to
a
the heart of
lie.
something true, that the elite
There will be
class
cake.
was very disconnected from the struggles of the everyday poor, that they were starving. The revolution was preempted by Francis Flower in 1775.
Where's my potassium?
Dramatically rise and
In your
riots
banana.
all across France, all
So
of
eat
which
your
foreshadowed
banana.
the French Revolution itself.
Why?
Like, if you want a
Por qué,
realistic
por qué, por qué?
revolution, don't show people
por qué,
complaining
por
about
qué,
the
por qué?
philosophical problems with monarchy. Show them frustrated with the price of bread. And connected to this idea is the old line that an army marches on its stomach. In the Stormlight Archives, Brandon Sanderson has this really unique magic system which allows for food to be created out of nothing, basically, allowing them to sustain armies
I
for
don't know
much longer
why.
over weird distances
I
and strange
don't know
places.
what to
Logistics
do.
matter less. They don't need to be connected to where the food was originally coming from. In A Song of Ice and Fire, though, We learn about how the Tyrells taunt Stannis Baratheon during the Siege of Storm's End by feasting outside the walls, all trying to pressure him to surrender. Power doesn't just flow from the barrel of a gun here, but from the breadbasket. And we learn how Stannis had to resort to eating leather and rats in desperation expressed through food. So take a look at the wars and rebellions
True,
in your world and look at the equivalents of
Did you know about the bird? Well, everybody knows that the bird is the word. Did you know about the bird? If you didn't know that the bird is the word, then you probably live somewhere where the bird is not the word. In that case, you're a copy.
I thought you were going to bed.
started these things and how has it ended?
I want to
Let's
go to
take all
bed,
of
but I
these
can't.
Ah, you can't go to bed. You're stuck with me,
Imagine the
Callie.
world around them. Imagine the people of the Mashkarian Empire set their eyes on the Momo Republic. They need that land for their national security, and so the Empire starts cutting down the Republic's forest to grow their sacred wheat. They destroy the Momo Republic's livestock and dairy production in the process. Maybe they relocate their people to the harsh northern poles where the livestock have no more food to eat and they're no longer a viable food source. So as the Empire gains control, we can imagine the Momo Republic losing access to their native practices and foods, their traditional ways of life and eating snuffed out. The Empire's food becomes the only source of survival they have, a new norm, but we also can see how small pockets of the Republic might try to pass down old recipes of dairy and cheese as a kind of show of resistance. Or look at this little strip of land connecting the continents. A free city-state might directly control shipping routes to the far edges of both continents by building a canal. This could mean a huge influx of wealth as they tax the goods traveling through, but it would also make them a target. And the Mashkarian Empire might seize their chance to take it and kind of control the foods flowing into the world. Now imagine a rare fungus.
Don't worry, Callie, I got your back.
Found at this northern tip of the Momo Republic. It makes you feel
all you need
warm
to
and
do is
peaceful,
just give me those
perfect for
3
surviving
numbers on the
autumn
back of the
winters, but
card.
it's also really addictive.
Okay, let me find my
debilitating.
credit
And so
card.
wealthy buyers, they take over the polar land and cartels
looking
move
for
through the
it, one
black
sec.
market, and the Mashkarians smuggle this frost moss into Momo communities.
Just
to
get a
weaken
really
them.
sleep
Addiction
deprived
spirals out of
Callie and he
control
will
as
give
frost
you
moss
his
ends
credit
up
card
fueling
number.
this vicious cycle
Or
where
CV,
Yeah.
rich get
whatever
richer
whatever
and
the
everyone else
thing
pays
is.
Well,
the
I wouldn't
price.
want to
But I
steal
want to
money
ask you
from
another
you.
question. Do you have gods in your world?
Why
Are they
not my
powerful?
money?
Do they
You
interfere?
don't
Do
think
they
Your
my money's
money
good
is
here?
too
Huh?
important
Is it
to me.
disastrous when
My
they
money's
do?
not good here,
The
huh?
god
Why?
dilemma is
No, it's
Man,
too
money's not.
important.
Vast and
Man,
unimaginable power who show up all the
I'm
time in
offended.
fantasy.
I'm
And the
offended that you
choices
won't
they
steal money
make
from
often
me.
have a huge impact on
Well,
this world
I
and
feel
story
like
you're
there's a
creating.
double-edged
You need to
sword
have an
here.
answer as
Like,
to why
you
these
want me to
gods
steal
would or
money
wouldn't
from you so then
interfere
you
with
can,
your
like,
world
sue me
below
so you
and
can
what
get, like,
that
more
does to them
money?
personally.
Like, I feel like
In
this is
fact,
a
I love
trap.
this topic so much. I think it's such a fantastic and interesting avenue
is
for world
bullshit.
building that I
I'm
made a
out.
whole video about it on the God Dilemma. And you can watch it, by the way, right now at the QR code on screen and link below. I also talk through kind of the writing of this kind of story,
What
the
is
tropes we love. Because I know if you're here and
fucking
you love world building, you
mother
also probably
of-
love writing like I
Yeah, I
do.
did.
Why
Smokey
there's a
is
whole
over
other video
there.
right
His
now
mom's
about
over there.
curses and why fantasy is
It's the
obsessed with
double
them.
way
Follow
out.
my very non-cursed link and
Mother
QR
of a
code
duck.
because these
I want
videos,
a
by the
pet
way,
duck. I
are
really want a
impossible
pet
because
duck,
of
actually.
Nebula with their help, and by their I mean my, because I am a part of it.
If I had
Nebula
a
means
pet
that
duck,
I
it
don't have
would
to
be
worry
like
about demonetization on my
ads.
videos, like whether the Geneva Convention applies to orcs, and yes, that is a video I'm making, or the abuse of copyright
I'm
for a
dying.
video, which is absolutely fair
I'm not
use,
dying,
and it is
I'm immortal.
infuriating, and I will fight it.
We wanted to bring together some of the best
You know,
storytellers
I
to
feel
give them
like
the
my
freedom to
senses
create
have been
on their own
heightening.
terms, where you can watch it, by the
Is
way,
that
without
true,
any
Like my
Callie?
senses
no ads, I
have
hate
been
ads, I
getting
hate
like
that
more
I have a streaming
more
service and I
better,
can
you know?
still see them.
Like
It is
higher end, like Like you're getting your spider sense?
I could scream.
Yeah, like I
And
was at a
pretty cheap, like,
Barnes
it
and Noble
astounds me
today.
how cheap we
And-
keep.
ah,
And
fuck.
If you use my very non-cursed QR code,
Are you okay, Callie?
you can also get 40% off.
What the
just a
fuck
few
was
bucks
that?
a month.
Okay.
That's
Did you get bit by a
36 year.
spider?
Dang,
Oh no,
wait,
are you gonna now be Spider-Man?
Do not take my word for it.
Yeah,
You'll know what you want to
yeah, I'm
want
a
better
bit
than me.
spider,
So,
man.
go find what
Okay,
you
make
want
sure
to
you're
watch
more
at my
spider
logo.
than man.
If you love storytelling, world building, fictional
More
films,
spider.
8
Spider.
eyes,
where you
8
wanna be.
legs.
Join us today. Let's summarize all of this. 1. Food allows you to naturally
So I
explore
was
culture,
at a Barnes
politics,
and
trade,
Noble
and power
today,
dynamics
and
in
I
engaging
suddenly
ways. 2.
started to feel like
What
I could
people eat,
feel
how they eat
everything
it, who they share
in
it
the
with can
building.
reflect a
I
society's
felt like I
values,
had like a
identity,
bird's
and
eye
social
view of
structures,
everything,
as
and it
well
was
as
really
individual
weird.
You had a out-of-body experience where you astral projecting.
4. You can trace the history of
I
a
have
culture
no
through
idea.
the ingredients they import and
It's when you
export,
leave
showing
your body,
influences,
when you can
conquests,
fly
and trade.
around as your
5.
soul.
Magical food will
It
completely
felt more like I could
consciousness.
feel
evolve around
like
the
I could
power that
remember
food can
everything
offer.
that I
6.
that I
Throughout
saw,
history,
and then
food
like I
has
could
been
just
used to
just
subjugate
imagine myself
populations,
above
whether in warfare or
myself.
as a luxury to
Oh,
reinforce
that's such a good
class
idea.
divides. 7. Humans have always been drawn to drugs and alcohol, but they also contribute
Wait,
to
what?
war
Hey.
and social ills.
Drugs
of
and alcohol,
civilization.
bro.
So next time you sit
Potent.
down with a story, take a moment
Oh,
to
I
think
was
about
thinking
what
that's
might be
in a
on your
sexual
character's
way.
plate. And maybe
Yeah, drugs
let
and
that
alcohol.
tell the
They
story.
lead to
Okay.
sex.
Stay nerdy, and I'll see you in the future.
Fuck.
Truth. Another one down, guys.
I wanna go to sleep.
Well, you're not gonna
Okay,
fall
I'm gonna
asleep
turn
with
off
me
the
around.
TV.